Hello, world. What's up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte. We are here live at the Build Studio in New York City. Our next guest is a crazy talented young actor, singer, model, you name it. He very recently starred alongside Noah Centineo in The Perfect Date, and now you can catch him in the popular new Netflix original series from Awesomeness TV, Trinkets, based on the book by Kristen Smith. That's right, the great Odiseas Georgiadis is in the building, folks. How we feel about that? Make some noise for Odiseas, please. We're going to bring him out in just a moment, but first, I believe we have the trailer for the show, so let's go ahead and run that clip.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I'm Sean, and I'm a kleptomaniac.
We've got a lot of new faces today. Feel welcome to share.
You guys know each other?
No.
Oh, hey! You better keep an eye on that one.
Let's see who can get the best shit in the shortest amount of time.
Fine.
There are 3 basic rules of shoplifting. And kids, don't try this at home. Number 1, be invisible.
I don't understand how I got here.
Life is oppressive.
Now are you steal?
2, only lift with people you trust.
I feel so alone here.
Who doesn't?
It's gonna be okay.
And 3, whatever you do, don't get caught.
Come with me.
Holy shit. The 3 of us are just meant to be.
You have a real problem.
The only thing that makes any of it worthwhile is having someone to share it with.
It feels good to put our truths into the universe. Why does coming here make me want to steal more than ever?
Work the steps, Mama.
Let me get a crazy amount of noise. The great Odiseas Georgiadis is right here. Come on.
My brother. What's up, what's up,
Dude.
what up?
What up?
Congratulations
Thank
on
you,
this
sir.
show. I got hooked.
Thank you, sir.
I think I went all the way to the end, man. I'm either on 9 or I'm about to watch 10. I'm very close. I've fallen in love with this show. It's so well done. And man, does it make me want to steal stuff.
No.
I'm kidding. The first couple episodes make it look real cool, but that's not what the show's about. You get way past that. That's background. But that trailer, and there's some really cool like James Bondian moments in the very early episodes.
Very.
But I'm really excited to talk to you about your character. But really, just first and foremost, you're having a hell of a run right now. You just had, this is like another big hit. Fans are already tweeting, asking for season 2. You know, you had The Perfect Date. We've got Trinkets. What's it like in your life right now? What does this feel like?
Oh, man. I mean, I went to school right here, high school in New York, man. I mean, it's just a blessing, you know, to have all this going on. And it's definitely, things are changing, I'll say that, so. Yeah.
What does it feel like when you go onto Twitter or something and you see people talking about how much they like Noah or how much they want a season 2? You work so hard on this thing, and now here people are loving it, talking about it, discussing it. That's got to be surreal. That's got to be everything you worked for. What is that like?
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. Like the fact that it's been out for now, I think 3 or 4 days. The audience and the people, man, they're talking already, and I really appreciate all the love and stuff, and it's coming in quick, so we'll see what happens with it. But
that's
yeah,
kind of the great thing, man, about doing like a Netflix show is when the whole thing drops.
Yeah.
You work on it forever. You pour your heart and soul into it, and then all of a sudden, boom, it belongs to the world.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of those things where, you know, the cast got so close, everybody on the set, you know, you could tell that people cared about the show. We wanted this thing to be really, really fire. And the fact that it's out now, it just didn't feel real. Like, everybody was saying June 14th. And when it came, I was like, wow. You know, it's like actually here. Yeah. It's a blessing.
Nuts, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to go through the whole thing. I want to talk about working with the cast and all that. But, like, you know, as you said, you grew up here. This has been kind of a long time coming. You've been in the game for a minute. You were pretty young when you started. I want to say, keep me honest here, 15, 16 years old was your first gig?
I started this joint.
How far back?
I started I started singing. Singing is my first love, you know, and acting is a huge love of mine. You know, those are my 2 things. And I started when I was really about 11, 12, actually. So I've been, so it's been a little minute, you know. Although, like, I am technically, you know, still young, I guess.
Yeah, no, you're definitely. No,
I'm still a baby, but it's
you're
like
young,
because of how long ago I think I started.
For a while.
Yeah. So it's wild because all the things that are kind of beginning now and happening
Yeah.
now. I used to dream of them when I was, 9, 10, like whatever. And when you come out, you just want it like, yeah, I want to be on TV, Mom, or I want to have my music out. But it's not about the quick process, It's beautiful to see it bloom, and it tastes, really nice after waiting for a while. And also, God gives you things when you're ready. So I feel like I knew then. Now I know that when I really wanted it bad, I probably wasn't ready.
Weren't ready for it.
Yeah, but like it's happening at the right time.
Well, let's play around with that for a second, man. Do you remember the first, like your first real like set experience? You walked in. I have to assume you were overwhelmed. First one.
Okay, the first one.
Think about it.
Actually, no lie though. When I was younger, I was very like out there and like very.
Of course, yeah.
So I like as kids, we don't really have much fear. So I always like to tap into the kid in me, But always be a kid forever. But yeah, so when I first went on set, I wasn't scared at all for some reason. I was just excited.
Yeah.
I was just excited to be there.
Big playground.
Big playground.
Yeah.
Big playground.
How does that compare to how you feel walking onto a set now?
I cry every time I walk on. I'm very
really?
scared. No, I'm joking.
Well, I thought maybe like emotionally, like I can't believe I'm here.
No,
I'm crying tears of joy.
Oh, tears of joy. I mean, tears of joy came a few times when I'm just thinking about how life has changed. Like I was born in Ghana, West Africa. Mom's Ghanaian. Mom's in the audience right now.
Shout out to Mom.
Yo.
Hey, Mom.
And my pops is Greek, and I moved to New York when I was 6. And you can dream about these things, but for them to actually start to happen is really crazy. So I've had a few moments where crying about just looking at it and being like, wow.
You had, speaking of Mom being in the audience, you had a really sweet Mother's Day post on Insta not too long ago, well, a couple of weeks ago for Mother's Day. And I'm curious, starting so young, what was her take on it? How was she? What was she like when you revealed at a young age that I want to roll the dice on my career and do something that not many people succeed at? Was she supportive? Did she get back? What was it like?
She was. She was very supportive. The beautiful part is that I know for a fact that without God, without my family and my parents especially, I definitely wouldn't be here, It sounds obvious and maybe cliched, but it's just so real. I really couldn't have. And I know many friends or people where, the only thing missing was support from their parents. Maybe, I think, this is not a real job, get a real job. All these things that, you hear a lot. And I've been blessed to have parents and my mom especially, who's always been by my side. And when I first brought it up and she saw that I was singing in the house, she was like, no, she was actually the person who told me to really pursue this singing thing, and she really pushed the button on that, just on something that I love to do naturally, and I'm really grateful for that. And she had a salon, she does hair, she does my hair, and she, you know what I'm saying? No, yeah, Mama's great, man. And she, so basically, she would literally, when I was younger, take off work, like stop. She had her own salon. She would stop, and she would not make money that day. Like literally, stop an income for a second to take me to an audition in the city until I was of age to be able to go on alone. So these are little things that I could go on forever.
I know you were little when she did that, but did you ever, were you capable of grasping the gravity of that moment that my mom stopped working so I could go do this today?
No, not then.
Too young.
Yeah, not then. And I was like, oh, this is what parents are supposed to do. No, these are like, there's nothing like a given like that. So you have to be grateful for it. No matter how much we fight with your parents or anything, we must respect them. So it's beautiful.
That is exactly. It's a beautiful thing. All right, let's fast forward a little bit, man. Talk to me about Trinkets. How did you get involved with Trinkets? How did you become a part of this? Look at this. Look at this lineup. How did you join this team?
People. Stars, man. So basically, I joined the team. It's weird. So I did the perfect date at first, and then shortly after, I had an audition in New York come in later in the year. I kind of was already kind of wanting to be in the show. And I was, auditioning. And then the audition came in, and I was like, man, this would be really, really cool. I really, really wanted it. So I just had the process, had 2 auditions in New York, self-tapes, just sent it to LA. And then I had a test out there, went to test, and then I was waiting. I was actually...
How long did you wait?
From the test, it was only literally like 2 or 3 days.
Felt like forever.
It felt like forever. I felt it in the room of the test that I might get this thing, but I didn't want to guess too much. So I said, you know what, I'll leave it to God. I'll leave it alone. But when I was at home, I was on the floor and I was kind of like contemplating and kind of praying and thinking. And it's like, am I gonna get this thing? I was kind of, scared. I was like, I didn't know. Yeah. And then like I just get a call. My agents are like, "Yo, we regret to inform you that you absolutely got the job." And I was like, "Why are you playing with me?"
Why do they all do that?
Yeah, they find it fun, but it was fun though. It was fun. It was exciting.
Every time I get one of these stories, they go, and then they told me, "We're so sorry to have to say, but you made it." It's like oldest trick in the book.
Oldest trick. It's
still
it's not that
funny.
original. Yeah. But it was amazing though, and me and my family danced around. I was jumping on couches.
What'd your mom say?
Screaming, just screaming.
I mean, I feel bad asking like she's not in the room, but like you got the microphone.
Yeah,
What
she was just
happened
like,
when she found out?
What? And asking about where it's shooting and how you doing. Like, let's pack your bag. Like, so excited. I'm like, Mom, it's like 10 weeks away. All right, let's go to dinner, celebrate first, and chill out. I got some lines to memorize.
How you do with that? You are with the line?
I am.
You
I
got
feel
tricks?
Yeah. Any tricks?
Your mom help?
Actually, yeah, sometimes.
Oh my
but
God! What don't you do?
She does everything. No, but
mom.
Yeah. So basically, my brothers and I sometimes they'll help me, read over lines and stuff. But no, for me, I have to do prep beforehand, and I really respect, the craft of it. So before I go out to do a project, I like to, and everybody has their own thing. Some people look at it the day before, but I like to, read as much as I can and memorize everything before I even leave New York to go wherever to shoot it, or that's what I do.
Yeah, I was curious how you got ready for it. Noah's an interesting character because he kind of hangs out on both sides of like two different worlds almost, right? With like these two different individuals, he's got these relationships with. I'm trying not to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But I think we've seen the trailer him with Mo at some point and whatnot, so we know that much. But like, how do you get ready to jump into this world and into this story? What was your prep? What did it look like? Did you read any of the book? Do you try to stay away from stuff like that because you want to keep it pure and make it its own thing? What do you do?
I didn't read. I tried to make it its own thing when it comes to reading the book. So I really focused on the matter that we got, the script and everything, and I kind of just try to create a world for Noah. I like to where is he from? What is he thinking? Where's his life, his home life like? His parents, what he cares about. And I was telling this story earlier. I like to get into character, so I bought a soccer ball, and for this show, a lot of new things happen. So I've been living with my parents up until the show, and for the show, I had to move to Portland for the few months that we were shooting it, and I had my first apartment there. So your brothers weren't there. You could do what you kind of wanted. It was my place. So I was like, okay. So I bought a soccer ball, and I was playing with it in the living room.
Was that security
deposit? Yeah, practicing for
one of your
Noah.
first adult lessons?
Yeah, I was like, nah. The neighbors didn't really dig that. But, so I was doing that to get into the role, just playing soccer. I was working out a bit more than I usually, because he's a jock.
He's a bit of a jock, yeah. He's a lovable
but he's
jock.
a lovable. The thing I love about him is he's not a stereotype. Nope. Stereotype based on, what has been kind of pushed in cinema in certain areas, like over the years. Like, oh, if he's jock and popular, he gets to girls and he must be mean or something. No, like he's a respectful kid, and I love that about the whole show is like that.
Yeah, I mean, and they set Noah up as that. Like, oh, he's the most beautiful guy in school. Obviously, he's going to have the most beautiful girl and all this stuff. Like in the first episode when they introduce you. But I thought it was great. Noah's he's the one that wants everybody to know about him and Mo. Usually it's the other way around. It's like he's usually the guy to be like, keep it on the DL, but he's like, I'll tell the whole world that we're together.
Exactly.
And so it's a fun way. That's part of what, just like a very little part of what makes this show feel very true to now and very accurate to what I think, as an old man, what I hope are you.
You a baby. You're a baby, man.
I appreciate it. It's very kind of you to say.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, you watch this and it just feels natural. Everybody feels natural. They feel in their element. I mean, it's not that long ago that you were in high school, so it's not a big leap for you to have to put yourself back in that mindset.
Exactly.
But actually, what was that like to have to kind of go back a little bit? Because
I was also talking about that recently.
It's been long enough. But
It was beautiful, man. I actually recently just saw my brother from high school. He's like right here. But
He's telling me,
yeah. Crazy.
Small world.
And this city, man, you always run into people. But New York, man, it's my baby. I love this city. I could go on a tangent, but we're not going to talk about that.
One story at a time.
Yeah, one story at a time. So yes, what did you ask?
What it was like? Yeah. Whatever you want, man. It's our time. It's the internet. We can do anything. But what I was talking about was going back and having to portray a high schooler.
Yeah.
What that was like.
It was beautiful, man. I always talk to my friends, and I'm like, dude, like, I would love to go back to high school again. We always want to go at 2 months. I went to high school in Harlem, right here in New York, and I was like, man, I would love to go back for 2 months, 3 months, just to feel it again, because that energy is unlike any other. A bunch of kids getting together. It's like, where you're going every single morning, and you go, it's very, very, very cool.
What were you like in high school versus like Noah? I don't know that you guys were the same. Were you? You had to get that soccer ball, so I knew you don't play soccer.
Yeah, so I went to a performing arts high school, and my major in school was music, singing, but I like sports. I used to play basketball like during gym and stuff, but like really, we were very similar in terms of how we are. Like if I dug a girl, or I was very open with it. Like I don't like to play around and stuff. So I feel like there's many similarities to me and him, and I like to, I feel like I brought myself to him a bit. But in high school, I mean, I had fun. I mean, I had my group of friends, but it's like we were one of those people that like we were cool with kind of everybody in a way, and we didn't want to start any trouble, and we focused on the art really, when we were in school. It was a good time.
Sounds like it was a good time, man.
It was fire.
There's so much stuff to love about this show. Another great thing behind the scenes, I was reading, I think I got these numbers right. I think like 8 out of the 10 episode directors were female. Yeah, and it's just like you read something like that, and that's nice to hear. That's good to hear. What was it like working with all these amazing directors?
Amazing. Yeah. It was beautiful. Each director had their own magic, which I think really came to the show. Like you see how in the show each episode has its own feeling and story, but yet they're so cohesive. So I felt like it was amazing working with these people. Yeah, there's just so much. And again, no spoilers, but we have another great thing to see is here's a popular show on Netflix, huge push from Awesomeness TV and everybody, and it has a main character, a queer character who is not comic relief, who is not secondary to the plot, but is integral to the story and telling a really awesome story, and we get to see a relationship develop and see their journey. It's a beautiful thing. It's got to feel, especially Pride Month, it's got to feel really good to be a part of that storytelling team and working with them. What does that feel like to be a part of that? It feels like this show is exactly what is it's representing kind of what it is right now, what's going on, And when you look at it, I feel like there's many people in high school or wherever where like, okay, I see this in my school, I see this here. I know, it doesn't feel like a fantasy world, Right. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just like there's a moment character comes out and there's no judgment. It's just part of who that person is. And they just kind of figure it all out together and they move forward, and it's just part of the story. It's kind of a beautiful thing. That's what I meant by it's very true to now, and it just feels like what's out there and what's happening.
Yeah.
I got a couple of questions in the room. That's fantastic. Well, before we go to those, just again, congratulations, man. You guys made a fantastic show.
Thank you.
I'm really excited for you. All the fans out there excited for more, for season 2 and things of that nature. It's on Netflix now. But you guys really did it. It's a beautiful thing. Let me get those questions. What do we got? First one, microphone, please. I'm going to laugh. It's your mom. No, it's not. It's not. Somebody else. Somebody else. All right, beautiful. Let's go.
I'm not
What's
your
up?
Mom.
Yeah, you're not my mom.
No, I'm sorry.
Can confirm. Not mom.
Hi. Congrats on the show.
Thank you.
I was curious if you have any sort of pre-show rituals before you get to set to like make sure you're in the zone for when you get there.
Man, wow, it's a great question. I'm gonna think about it. Do I? I mean, before I go on set, I just really look over my lines heavy. That was one of my things when I first started acting. I was like, really memorizing was a thing for me. I wasn't very good because I would always take it and flip it and do my own thing on my head with it. But I started to get better at memorizing. So I've definitely memorized my lines. I always say a prayer before going on set, and I just try to relax, breathe, and then realize that the whole point of it is to be living in the moment. So there shouldn't be any fear there because it's just another day in high school. So, yeah.
Nice. Great question. Do I got time for one more? Let me do one more. Give me one more question.
Hi there. First of all, I love your shoes.
Thank you.
But my question is, you mentioned that your character doesn't really conform to stereotypical jock characteristics. In what way do you think the show sort of rejects stereotypical teen, high school narratives?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of flips them on their head, Like even with the Mo situation, she's she's the one in many ways that has the power, you know, in terms of like emotionally. She's like, you know what, like I feel okay. They both have the power, but the way in which she goes about it, she really like kind of is like, right now I don't want to go public. You know, he's the one that's saying, I definitely want to, you know, I want to be out there with it. So it's like usually you'll have the male be the one that's trying to keep it low. They'll flip stuff like that. They'll flip even the three leads of the show. You know, the whole show is very unorthodox in its nature, but I think it's real because of that. You know, what else? Yeah, even Brady has some, you know, lovable parts about him. You know, and you wonder, you know, because Brandon Butler, who plays him, he's totally opposite in real life. So you wonder, like, why is he like that? You know, like what's, you know, so yeah.
Another great
Hope I
question.
kind of answered it a little bit.
Yeah, no, you did. Well, you got to be careful because you don't want to give away too much of the show.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
I was trying to think. Yeah,
I can see you mentally tap dancing around
I
it.
can't tell you. You know. Yeah. Have you seen it? Okay. Try to watch it. You'll see.
She's gonna watch it. I'll tell you that. This is. I had so much fun with you, man. Thank you for
Yes,
coming
sir.
by and
Thank you
hanging
so
out.
much, man.
We're gonna wrap it up. Oh wait, actually, before we go, music. What's going on with you and music, man?
Hey. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course, no, man. I gotta know.
I'm glad you asked, my brother. We have music coming. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a solo artist. My brother, who's a drummer, who works with me sometimes, I think he's coming. He's in the audience. But yeah, so basically, we have music coming right now, original music, and yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at your Insta. I see all these. You have an incredible voice, man. You're
Thank
super
you, bro.
talented dude.
Thank you.
And I was like, all right, where's the single?
Yeah.
Where's the EP? Where's the music?
Yeah, there's no original music out right now. There's no original
that?
music. Yeah, I'm about to fix that.
All right, good.
God willing.
Good. Get to
Yeah,
work.
Yeah, get to work. I like that.
Mom, you gonna put him to work?
Yeah.
There we go. Fantastic. Perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna wrap it up. I had a blast. You are awesome. You've done awesome work. I look forward to more awesome work from you.
Thank
all
you.
right, come back
Thank
and
you,
tell
sir.
us about it when you make it. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching this, and I want to thank for those that have not yet tuned into the show that are about to because they watched this. That was complicated, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remind you now, Trinkets. It's on Netflix right now. So do what I did. Get hooked and go watch the show. Thank you so much once again. Everybody, please make a crazy amount of noise for Odiseas.
I love you.
Georgiadis.
God bless you all.
Right here.
Peace.